What's up internet friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how I took and made these creative portrait shots of myself and my wife. Arguably on budget equipment, because I think the most expensive thing I'm using here is my camera, and that's the EOS R, which a lot of people would say is dated by now. I strongly disagree. In this setup we're using a 3-light setup, no gel lights required. We're going to do that in Photoshop with one click. Stick around till the very end, let's get into it. So as I mentioned earlier, we're using a 3-light setup for this portrait shot, one on each side facing in and one from above looking down. And these are the lights we're going to use. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I just really like these lights. So if you're looking for a good lighting setup on a budget, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can check these out. This is a GVM 560 AS bicolor LED studio video 3-panel light kit bundle, heads and sets. So yeah, that. There's built-in Wi-Fi so you can control it from your phone, although I find that not to be very reliable all the time. On the back you have your little Kelvin dial here so you can dial in your white balance, and then you got your intensity beside that. And on the front we got these 4 barn doors which can come in very handy for blocking off light, and it comes with a bunch of diffusers as well. So again, these 3 lights, check them out in the description below. Not sponsored. So the next step is to get these guys in position, and like I said, I'm going to do one on each side and one looking down. Let's do it. And I probably should mention, you don't have to do 3 lights for this type of shot. You can use 2 lights or even 1 light if that's all you have. This will still work. You can get creative with 1 light. This is our lighting setup today. Lights on either side, lights above me. I feel like a shitty air host. I'd be terrible at that because I really am a terrible flyer. So now that we have our light set up, I know it doesn't look like much probably on video, but it'll make sense when we start snapping some pictures. It's time to get our model out here, and also I'm going to model myself. And to do that, I'm going to use the Canon Connect app on my phone, which is not the greatest app to use to do stuff like this, but it's the only option I have, unfortunately. It will work, it just sucks sometimes. Let's get into it. Once you're happy with your pictures and you've tried a couple of different poses, we are now ready to start the editing process. This is where the magic happens. So here we are in Photoshop, and I got my portrait of my lovely wife ready to go. Now I haven't done any editing or retouching to this picture. I just wanted to show you guys how I add the gel lighting effect to these portraits. So what you're going to want to do is download a Photoshop action, and you can grab this from the link in my description. It brings you to a website by a creator called NS Creation. He's the original creator of this Photoshop action. I'm going to link his video up here so you guys can check it out. So make sure you download that Photoshop action first, and once you have it installed, this is how you run it. So in Photoshop, you're going to come up to the Photoshop Actions tab over here on the right hand corner. Click on that play button and it opens all the actions you have installed in your Photoshop. And down to NS Creation, you're going to see dual coloring. It says click here and start. So down to this little play button, you're going to click it. It's going to add a gel light effect to your photo. Now straight out of the gate, this looks pretty good to me, but if you wanted to make small edits to it, you can. Just head over to the group, open up that group, and you're going to see the different layers that make up this effect. So if you toggle them off, you can see what controls what. And if one of the colors is kind of overpowering, you can turn down the opacity here, like so. I'm going to bring that down to about 80%. That looks pretty good to me. And if you wanted to change the actual color that it's using, you can open that layer, click on gradient, click on color, and it's going to bring up this color bar that you can scroll down through, and that will change the color in your portrait. So real quick before we go, let's try one more picture. Here is a portrait of me, how meta. and I'm going to run that same action. So again, to the Actions tab, make sure NS Creation is selected and run that action. And just like that, you've made your portrait look a lot more fun and interesting. So with this particular one, I'm going to turn down the highlight on my left-hand shoulder so you can see it's a little bit blown out here and a little bit blown out or a little hot on my forehead. So I'm just going to turn down the opacity to about somewhere like that looks okay. So again, shout out to NS Creation for making this awesome Photoshop action. And to you guys that are still watching, if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you then. Peace.